Alright dudes, so I made a poll last night and asked what video you'd like to see next. It seems like we'll do another easy FPS editor tutorial. I'll definitely do this one next though. I'm keen to play this. I'm also really glad no one said nothing, so thank you. Also, I'm almost at 500 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed yet, please do so. 500 subscribers would be cool. Very cool. I also posted this quick video last night of testing out new enemies that I added using FSM and stuff. I got a comment here today asking if I can do a tutorial on how to do or how to add the melee like I've done with my sword, the two different attacks. Then he also asked if it's possible to have a kick button separately. I don't know if you can have it for a separate button, but I told him I'll try and add like fists for a punching attack if you click the left mouse button, and then I'll add a kick attack for the right mouse button. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to give you the full process of what I do. So this could be a long video, I'm sorry about that. You can always just check the chapters and skip ahead to the parts you want to see. So let's start with step number 1. I head over to Sketchfab. Now this website is pretty slow on my laptop. If you've seen my Ko-fi coffee video, you would have seen me rant about how crappy this laptop is. So it really struggles with 3D models and stuff like that. But we push on anyway. Now what I like to do first is go licenses, and I tick these boxes here. Anything that doesn't have NC in it, it just means it can't be distributed and no commercial use. So if you do end up making a game with these things, then I don't know what happens, but it's not allowed apparently. So I just click these ones here. Cool, so we have those filters on. Let's look for a kick animation. I'm just going to type kick and see what happens. And you see that's not what I'm wanting. I don't want a full body model. I'm just looking for a leg. Just give me that leg. I'm going to type FPS kick and see what happens. No results, that's not good. I'm just going to type FPS and see what happens. So we got some arms and stuff, got some guns. I'm really keen to make a game with guns soon, but I'm sticking with this medieval dungeon crawler type thing for now. There's a little creature I added to my game last night. What if I search boot? Okay, that's not what I wanted. What about FPS boot? Okay dudes, I'm just gonna pause the recording for a bit. This might take some time. I'll be right back.
1 hour later.
Okay, I'm back. That took way too long. I was spending this whole time trying to find a kick animation, and it was not easy. I did not find much. Literally all I could find for now was the Duke Nukem kick. So I'm gonna have to use this one today. I obviously won't be using this in my game because it's like medieval style. This will just be an example to show you how it works. I did not think it would take so long or be so difficult to find a kick animation. I guess the best route is to make it yourself, but I'm not good at art, so. And I'll be using these arms I found a while ago. So when you find the weapon you want to use, like these arms for example, or a sword, or whatever weapon you want to use, you can go here, Sketchfab, take this link, and then go here to Sketchfab Labs Experiments, load the scene here from URL, paste it there, load it in, and then you'll get your weapon, whatever it is. Then just turn the transparent background on. I usually turn this off too. And then what I did with these arms is you can click to rotate, right click to move it around like this. Here you can choose the animations and everything like normal. Then you can switch it to frames. And then I went like this. I positioned it like that, zoomed in until it looks right, like it would look in the game. So just imagine this canvas is the screen that you're looking at when you play your game. Just line it up in a good way. Then once you have it lined up however you like it, then you can go ahead and take the screenshots. So like start here by 0, skip a few frames, take another screenshot, skip a few frames, take another one, until you have all the frames you want. I did make a tutorial on using this program before, but I did it with enemies, and I used a cockroach, which actually put some people off from watching my video, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, you can go check that video out too, and then just take what I told you there and apply it here for your weapons. And unlike with the enemies, usually you'd want the enemy to be center in the screen facing you, but with a weapon it's a bit easier because you can use the full resolution size, the full canvas size, and then just place the weapon where it would be in your game. So the fists would be about here, or say you have a sword or something, you'd probably put it somewhere here, like that. And then just get your frames that you want, take your screenshots, and then you can go ahead and open it here in a Sprite. And since it's still full quality, 1920 by 1080, then you can go and change the sprite size to like 512 or something like that. make it look retro, and then you're good to go. Then you can move on to the next step. Today I'll just be focusing on how to do FSM for these fists and for this Duke Nukem kick. Thank you to this person whose name I can't say. This is where I found the Duke Nukem kick. There's a bunch of sprites down here, and finally, took a really long time, but I found a kick. This was pretty much the only one I could find today, so I'll be using this. So here I have my fists, here I have my kick. You can see this resolution is pretty small, 154 by 163, and this one's full quality, so I'm gonna have to just change the sprite size quickly. I'm gonna lock the ratio. Usually I go for like 512 or 256. So yeah, I think I'll do 256 today. I'll make the width 256, height 144, and let's make it look retro. Okay, it's done. It looks pretty low quality, almost too low quality. Maybe we try 512 quickly. Yeah, I just undid that. Sprite size, let's go 512 by 288. This looks better. Yeah, a little bit retro, but not too crappy. So now we got our idle fists when you're walking and your punching fist when you're punching. So once you're happy with the resolution, we'll go to File, Export As, choose a new folder. I have a few other hands here. You can see these ones are like open hands. I was thinking of using them for spells or something. So I'm going to put them in this resized folder and just call them fists 0. And then it'll number them from 0 onwards. Save it as a ping and export. Then it'll save it as fists 0, 1, and so on. Cool, so that's ready. Here we got our Duke Nukem boot. It's not the best looking kick animation, but it's literally the only one I could find right now, so this will have to do. Then I'll export this as well. I downloaded this as a GIF, then I just put it in a sprite, and it broke it up into separate sprites. I have a weapons folder here. I'm gonna add a few more weapons soon. I'll make a new folder and just call it Duke Nukem boot. I guess it has to be called the same as the hands actually to make the FSM work. Let me just save it as kick for now. Kick 0. PNG. Save. Okay, so I'll show you the FSM I use for my sword. As you can see here, you gotta type image and then sword, and then all the images that you use for this animation. So if I'm gonna set up these fists and the boot as like one image, I'll have to name it the same thing, like I've done with the sword here. And there's my idle, there's my main attack, left click, and there's my right attack, the alt attack. So I gotta rename this and the boot. So I have this tool here. Someone commented in one of my videos recently, told me about this program called bulk rename utility. Very useful. I'll show you how that works quickly. So it looks like this. I know it looks crazy. It looks very confusing. Just put it here. Take your fists, highlight them all, and then drag them into this program. Put them there. And then go to remove, and I go first, and then I click this little arrow. And you can see I removed all the letters. One more. There we go. So now all these files have no name. Then I'm going to add, I think I'll call it Melee. And then you can number them as well. So start at 0, at. Click this little arrow, and you'll see it appearing now. There we go. So I've removed the original name, then I added Melee to replace it, and then I add the numbering at the end of it there. If you scroll down, it should all look good. So it'll be called Melee from 0 to 26. Rename, say OK. That one's done. And then we can remove all of these since they have been renamed now. So it goes up to Melee 26. So I'm going to do the same for the Duke Nukem boot. Copy these, put them here, and then do the same thing. If you keep the settings as they were, then it's done automatically. Just keep this program open, and then it'll do the same thing there. But we have to number it from, was it 26? Yeah, okay, so 26 is the last one there. So we'll name this one from 27. There we go. Then Melee 27 up to 36. Rename. Okay. And I think I can close this now. I should probably put the boot in the same folder just to make it a bit easier. So I'll just copy these quickly, put them here in hands, and paste. Cool, so we have melee from 0 to 26, including the kick and the fists. I'll probably just rename this to melee then, for now. So once you have all your sprites ready, we can start the FSM process. So what I like to do is keep one of my previous state files open, just for reference. Then go new, and then we start with image, melee, then a space, and it's from 0 to how many again? 36. So now it's going to read these melee images from 0 to 36, and include them in the state file. Then we can press enter twice. Make sure there's no spaces at the end of these lines, otherwise it won't work. So make sure no spaces. Enter, and then I'll look here for reference. If you want to add sound effects, you can do that. Just add sound and then whatever your sound is called underneath the image. But I won't add any sounds today. So the first state is idle into none. So this is just the idle state then. And then we can go and see which of these fists are idling. So it's from 0 until 12. From 0 to 12. Then we can type frame set 0, 12, and then the speed of the animation. I'll make it 0.1 for now. And then these are the X, Y, and Z offsets or coordinates, or whatever it's called. Not too necessary, so just 0, 0, 0. And then at the end we say none, because nothing happens. It just idles, and then that's all. So that one's done. Next we'll do state. I think it's attack. None 0. I'll just double check here. Oh no, okay, so it goes from attack to idle. My mistake. So he'll attack, and then he'll go back to the idle state, which is this one. Then we just look for the frames for the attack. It's from 13 until 26. So frame set 13, 26. The speed offsets none. Or maybe it's not none. Let me check. Okay, right. You have to define where the sound would be, if you have sound, and where the attack happens. So let me do that quickly. We need to check where the moment of impact will be for this punch. So I'm guessing there, that one. Frame 19. So then we'll make this one from 13 to 18, where nothing happens. And then frame 19 will be speed, that, and then we define attack. So on this frame, it'll attack. And then from frame 19 until 26 is none. So frame set 20 to 26, speed, that, none. Cool, so it has from 13 to 18, nothing happens. Frame 19, the attack happens. And then the rest of the frames, 20, 26, also nothing. I'll just double check here. Okay, cool. I'm glad I checked. You have to add ready at the end of the state, so it knows that it's ready to attack again. So instead of that, we'll take it one frame back to 25, and then go frame 26 is the ready frame. So now our main attack, left click attack, is ready. Next we'll do state, I think alt attack, back into idle, 0. Cool. Let's do those lines. So the alt attack will be the kick, Duke Nukem kick. I think it's funny that I had to use this one. I was thinking like, which game has kicks in it? And I immediately thought of Duke Nukem. So it'll be from 27 until 36. So frame set 27, 36, speed, none. So I'm just gonna have to adjust it again, same as this one. Where the attack frame will be. Moment of impact, maybe there. Yeah, 32. So we'll change this to 31. frame 32. Oops, 32. That'll be the attack. Do I make it attack or alt attack? Okay, this is also attack. So 32, and then 36. Frame set 33 until 35. None, and then the last frame 36 will be ready. Now I'll just double check that there's no spaces at the end of my lines here. Okay, so that's done. That's all ready. Idle attack, alt attack. Idle attack, alt attack. Cool, so this should be ready. So once you have your state file ready, we'll go to save as. And here's, I'll just show you again where it is. So wherever you have your Easy FPS Editor program installed, you go to the folder, you go to projects, click on the project you're working on, then scroll down to states. Oops. States, and here's all my monster states, and there's my sword states. And then we have to save this as, it must be the same name as your images. So this will be melee.states. Save. Cool, so that's ready, but don't close it. In case you want to make any adjustments, you can just minimize this and then change it and go straight back into your game. Let's open up project. Nope, there's actually something really important I forgot. We have to copy all of these images into our project folder, just like we did with the states now. So go to wherever your Easy FPS Editor is installed, go to project, your project, and then sprites, and then look for weapons. And then here is where you will paste your new sprites. So here's where I'll put the fists and the Duke kick. So now that it's in the project, then you open up Easy FPS Editor. You have your states file saved in the project folder, and you have your sprites that you'll be using saved in your projects folder too. Then we can open up our project and then go to object settings, weapon settings, type in your weapon here. So mine's melee. Tick. And because it's the same name as the sprites you just added to the folder, when you go to import sprites, they should be there. Obviously, it won't have all of them, so don't worry. It won't show all of them here because there's not enough blocks. It's just going to ignore this pretty much and just read your states file instead. So that's all fine. It's just a good way to check that they are there. And then, yeah, I'm not sure how this works again. Let me check my sword. I think you turn all the ammo settings off since it won't be using ammo. Make sure melee is ticked. You can change all the ammo to 0. Fire rate, I think 10 is good. Damage, they're only fists, so I guess 5. Bullets number, I guess 1. Don't need a reload speed, so 0. I'm just matching these settings up to my sword settings. Ammo in box, 0. Cool. Let me just make sure there's no muzzle flash, since it's not a gun. And now that should be ready. Last thing is set position and scale. If you can't see anything, don't worry. Just change the scale a bit. There it is. And then you can change the offsets here. Unless I make it like 65, then it's actually fitting perfectly now. I don't think I need to change it then. Let me try auto fit. Oh, cool. Auto fit works. There we go. Accept. Accept. And then usually you would place your weapons down here and then put it somewhere, but these are fists. So go to game settings, game info configurator, and you can choose a starting weapon here. I discovered last night. And it'll be melee as the starting weapon. Accept. And let's hope it works. Let's see. Alright, we got fists. Something weird's happening though. Why is it? Oh, I think I know. I think I know why it's doing that, but let's just test the punch quickly. It's very slow, but it works. Let's test right click. Oh, that's that's not where it's meant to be. But yeah, we left click and punch, right click and kick. But now we gotta fix this. This isn't right. So what the issue is with the flickering, I think we have to go back to weapon settings, melee, import sprites, and it's because it's reading this as 0. According to our state file, it's reading 0 as well. So we'll have to add this manually here. So let's go back to hands, melee, and just re-add melee 0. There we go. Accept. Let me just make sure that that's working at least. Cool. So that's better now. It's just this boot that's quite a problem. That's not where his leg should be. And I know why. I'll also fix the resolution or the sizing issue at the bottom there. But now this issue is because the fists are not the same resolution as the kick. So let's go fix that quickly. So we'll go open a sprite, and then we're gonna open these. You can just drag the first one and it will read the rest of them too. Yeah, that's the issue. It does not match color mode or resolution. Yeah, you see, because these fists are at 512 by 288, and then if I open the boot, it's a completely different resolution. It's at 154, 163. So there's 10 frames here. I'm going to copy these 10 frames. Let me just make more frames here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Delete those ones, and then place the boot here instead. There we go. You see, because imagine this as your screen right now in the game. That's why it was appearing there in the top. But it's an easy fix actually. Select these frames here, take your drag tool, and then just drag it here into the bottom. It might still look weird, but at least it won't be coming out of your head there. So there we go. Now the boot's down there, but maybe I should put it more in the middle. There we go. That looks better. So now it should look like this in the game. You can either re-export this and then do all of that again, but I think for now I'll just save the boot. So from frame 28 there, delete these. Cool. Let me just re-export this. What's it called again? Losing my voice. Okay, so I'm gonna rename them from 27 onwards. Cool. So it's melee 27. Now I guess you could save it straight back into this folder actually, but I don't want to cause any problems or crashes. So before I do that, let me just go back to my project. Maybe the best plan is just to close the program for now. Yeah, I think it can cause crashes if you try and take files away while the program's open. So let me just close it. Then let me go back to the project folder where it is and delete from here. Delete these boots. Cool. And then we can save it. Export as. Make sure the numbering is right. So it'll be from 27 as a PNG. Save. Export. Yes. Okay, so this should be good now. I'll just minimize that. There's our new resized boot back in your project folder. I guess I'll just copy these quickly and just put them in this folder as well. And I'll overwrite those ones. There we go. So let's try it again. Fists are working and boots working. Nice. Feels like I'm playing Duke Nukem with a demon chasing me. Take this. Take these fists. Okay, obviously the speed's really slow, and I must fix the. You can see the empty spaces there under my fist. So let's fix that quickly. Weapon settings, melee, position and scale. So it looks fine like this, but once you start moving, the view bob enables. So you'll want to drop the Y a little bit. Maybe 50? Nah. 25? Let's try 25. Let's try it again. There we go. Now I'll walk. Cool, now you can't see those gaps anymore. Unless I punch. So I might have to move it a bit to the X-axis as well. Or zoom in a bit. Yeah, you can see on the right there when I punch. It's not perfect yet. Let's see. Weapon settings, melee, position and scale. But if I move it, say, to the right, then I'll probably have the same problem here. I'm not sure. Let's try 25 to the right as well. If you want to make it to the left, just make it minus. But in this case, we want it here. And then let's change the speed as well. Fire rate, 20. I think that affects the speed. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm being a bit dumb right now. Okay, so we fixed the issue with the right arm. Okay, you can see it a little bit still, depending on where I'm moving. There, there, it goes a little bit out of frame, you can see it. But at least the kick's working nicely, and the hands, so that's good. So I'm being dumb because since we're using a states file, we can't adjust the settings here. We have to go back to our states file. And I guess for the idle, 0.1 is fine. But for attack, we change the speed here. It's this one. After you choose your frames, speed comes next. So let's make it at 0.1. So maybe we'll make it 0.05, 0.05, 0.05. And then maybe the kick. The kick seems okay, so I'll make it 0.75. 0.75. Now it should be faster. Save, and then you can go straight back and test it out. That's why you should keep your states file open for quick adjustments. So the idle speed will be the same, and the punch is faster now. That looks good. I think you can adjust that thing, the little decal it makes. But yeah, it's definitely faster now. I'm punching. And then yeah, then you can add your punch sound effect and your kick sound effect too. I can still see it goes out of frame a little bit when I punch, so I'll fix that. You can either zoom in more, or you can move it a bit to the right. Since this hand doesn't lift, I guess we could just move it a bit more to the right. Make it like 30, 35, maybe 35. And I think it can be a little bit faster. If you want to adjust the speed of each individual frame, then you can just make it, instead of frame set, you can just say frame 13, 14, 15, 16. It'll make it longer, but then you can adjust every single frame's speed if you want to be very specific. But I think the windup could be a bit faster, so let's make it 0.03. See how that looks. Might be a bit too fast. This one can also be faster. Maybe we'll make that 0.05 too. Like the main attack was just now. Cool. Let's see how that looks. Alright. Nice and fast. But I guess if you do punch, you want to throw a fast punch, right? Yeah, that looks better. Take this. Just beat him. Kicking his ass. But he actually has lots of health, and this only does 5 damage, so you can just kick the shit out of him. Take this. Got him. Hey, you witch. I'm gonna punch you. You ever punch a witch? You ever kick a witch? Okay, cool. So this is working, everyone. So of course, you probably don't want to use the Duke Nukem kick, and I don't know if you're allowed to, for legal reasons. I have no idea. So hopefully you're a good artist and you can design your own kick sprite sheet. Then that would be great. I could not find 3D models of a kick, unfortunately. Let me punch this eyeball too. Take this. And I set it so that when he gets hurt, he will flee as well. So he gets hurt, then he flees, because he's scared. Kick, flee. Punch, flee. Added some sound effects to these gates last night as well. Alright, cool. So that's how you add melee weapons, or any weapon really. This is a tutorial on how to add FSM to your weapons. Works the same for guns, but if you do add guns, then you'll have to define the reload animation and that kind of stuff. And I haven't played around with that yet. I'm going to link a video in my description that'll teach you how to work with guns and FSM. And that's the video that taught me how to use FSM. Very useful. Please come back and make more tutorials, TJ. We want more tutorials. You're very good at this. Alright, cool. I've had enough of punching this eyeball. There he goes. So that is how you add FSM to your weapons. I'll do another tutorial on guns soon. Otherwise, just go check out TJ's video. It's really good. And yeah, thank you for watching this one. Sorry if it turned out quite long. I spent like an hour trying to find a boot or a kick animation. So I settled with the Duke Nukem one. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you want more direct, faster help, just join my Discord and send me a message there. I'll get back to you whenever I can. I do enjoy helping out. I'm still very new to this. I don't know everything, but I'll help you if I can. Just message me on Discord. And let me know if you want another tutorial on anything else. Also support my Ko-fi page. I made that recently. My goal is to get a new computer because my laptop is terrible. All donations will go towards a new PC. My first ever PC. So that'll be really exciting. And thank you for supporting the channel and watching the video. I'm almost at 500 subscribers, so please subscribe if you haven't already. And that's all. Goodbye for now. See you again soon.